Hello, everyone. Today, we will cover preference. Preference is a user-specific setting. A logged-in user can configure this setting according to their individual needs. The system then operates based on these configured settings. To access the preference window, first select Settings, then choose User Preference. This action will open the preference window. This describes the direct method for opening preferences. Alternatively, you can open preferences by first opening any Onfinity window, like I opened the sales order window. Within the sales order window, you will observe a settings icon. Selecting this icon reveals the preference option. Upon clicking this preference option, you will notice that both methods load the same window. This occurs because preferences are user-specific, not window-specific. Therefore, any preference settings a logged-in user configures in the preference window will apply to all windows within the Onfinity system. Now, in the preference window, the initial section is User Settings. Under User Settings, the first option presented is Change Password. This link allows a user to modify the password exclusively for their assigned role. To proceed, select Change Password. Then, input your current password, followed by your new password, and finally, re-enter the new password for confirmation. After entering the details, save the changes by clicking the Save Changes button. This action will update the password solely for the current user. The next setting available is Notification. Notification settings allow you to select your preferred method for receiving notifications. These options include email, SMS, or fax. To enable notification delivery, select the appropriate checkbox for your chosen method. The Onfinity system will then send notifications using the methods you have selected. For email configuration, you must enter your valid email address and password. The next feature we will cover is Login Setting. Within the Login setting, a logged-in user can define their default role. This means that upon logging in with their credentials, the Onfinity system will automatically assign them the specified default role. This applies specifically to the role for which the setting is configured, not to all users. For example, if your default login setting is configured as Enterprise Admin with a specific client and organization, and you then open this link on another browser using the same credentials, which includes your username and password, you will then observe that you are logged in by default with the predetermined user and role, as the login setting is applied accordingly. Now the next section is Preference. Within Preference, the window setting provides several options. These options are presented as checkboxes and include Show Translation tab, Accounting tab, Advanced tab, and New Record, among others. The first checkbox is Auto Commit. This feature is used to save the record without requiring you to click the Save button. For example, if you select this checkbox and save the changes, then proceed to open the sales order window again. Now, if you copy this record by selecting the copy icon and change the order reference from 26 to 27, then without clicking on Save, you navigate to the next tab, which is the Online tab, and select Online. You will then observe that the system automatically saves the record. This occurs without you needing to click Save. If you prefer that the system does not save the record automatically, you should deselect the Auto Commit checkbox. In this scenario, the system will first ask you to confirm before saving. The Show Translation tab checkbox is used to display translation type tabs in the UI. If this checkbox is not selected, translation tabs will not be visible. This principle also applies to the Accounting tab and Advanced tab. If your window contains Accounting or Advanced tabs, it is necessary to select those respective checkboxes in Preferences. Only then will those tabs be visible in the UI. Next, we will cover Cache Window. This checkbox is used to speed up the time it takes for a window to open. For example, if I open the sales order window, it takes some time to load. However, if I navigate to Preferences, select the Cache Window checkbox, and then save the changes. Upon doing this, you will then observe that, generally, when I open the same sales order window again, it opens within seconds. This checkbox, therefore, speeds up window loading time. Next, we will cover Show Field. This setting is used to control the visibility of the tenant and organization fields on the screen. For example, in this window, the tenant field is not present. To hide the organization field, I will configure this preference. If I set the Show Field preference to None, and then save the changes, then open the sales order window again, you can observe that the organization field is no longer visible. Therefore, when None is selected in this setting, neither the tenant nor the organization fields will be visible in the window. If the tenant field is also typically visible, both tenant and organization will be hidden when this setting is configured to None. This describes the function of this setting. Next, we will cover Show Page Size. This setting defines the number of records displayed on a single page. By default, 50 records are displayed per page. If you set it to 100, then 100 records will be displayed per page. For an example, we will navigate to the System Administrator role and then open the Screen Configuration window. It is important to note that you can apply this setting to any window, not exclusively to this particular one. Upon accessing Preferences, you will observe there are 25 pages, with each page displaying 50 records. If you modify this setting to 500 and save the changes, then reopen the Screen Configuration window. You will then observe that the number of pages will be reduced to 3 because each page now contains 500 records. If you select All, you will find that this single page contains a total of 500 records. Next, we will cover the log settings. Within the log settings, you can define the trace level based on your requirements. The Onfinity system captures errors according to the selected trace level. Under Preference Error, all information concerning captured errors will be visible. This includes the time of the error, its level, the class and method where it occurred, and the error or warning message. It is important to note that these errors are temporary or session-based. Upon logging out, all error logs displayed in this window will disappear. Currently, no errors are present in the system, which is why nothing is visible here. However, if errors occur, they will be visible here under Preference Error. You also have the option to export this data to Excel and share it for review or to understand. Next, under Other Settings, the Print Native Digits checkbox is available. This feature operates exclusively for Arabic languages. For example, if a client from an Arab country requires digits to be displayed in Arabic format, you can select this checkbox to enable the functionality. The next option is Select Theme. You cannot create or modify a theme using the current role. To perform this action, you must log in with the System Administrator role. Once logged in as a System Administrator and navigating to Preferences, you will observe the Theme Config option. Through Theme Config, you are able to modify the theme. For example, if I change the primary color to green, you will see all primary color elements turn from blue to green. Secondary color affects gray areas. The On Primary setting controls the white area. On Primary text determines the text color. You can change the theme as desired. After you configure the theme, you should enter a name for it and then save it. Subsequently, you can select it from the drop-down menu. Currently, since no theme is saved here, the default blue and white theme remains applied. Next, we will cover Context. The context info displays all information related to the logged-in user and the currently open window. For instance, the login user ID is 100. The username is superuser. The search key is superuser. The language is English. The role ID and role name are Vision Enterprises admin. The client name is Vision Enterprises. As you scroll down, you will observe additional details. The first tab name is Order. The second tab is Order Line. The third tab is Order Text. All information about the logged-in user and the opened window is stored in the context window. Additionally, mandatory and read-only logic, used in the form of @column_name =value, is also managed through context. The Onfinity system checks the value passed for any column or field from the context and applies the logic accordingly. Now, we will move on to Gmail account settings. The Onfinity system has been integrated with Gmail APIs. The first setting is Gmail task setting. If you create a task in Gmail, it will automatically sync with our application. Similarly, if a task is created within the application, it will sync with Gmail. To begin, click on Get Email Authentication. This action will open a Gmail login window. Please note, if access is blocked for your role, this functionality may not work. If another user with access logs in, they can enter their username and password. They will then receive a code from Gmail, which they can copy and paste into the application. Following this, save the changes. Tasks created in Gmail will then sync into the system. Next is Gmail Calendar Setting. This functionality operates similarly. Enter the code provided by Gmail and save the changes. All appointments created in Gmail will then appear in the Onfinity appointment system, and appointments created in Onfinity will appear in Gmail. Next is Gmail Contact Setting. This also operates in the same manner. After entering the code and saving the changes, all Gmail contacts will sync into the Onfinity system. To view these contacts, navigate to the User Management window. Within this window, you will observe the contacts that have synced from Gmail to Onfinity. And that's all about preferences. Thank you for attending.